Elon Musk has said that by the year 2031, we will be able to support life on planet Mars. So I'm suggesting that we ship 90%, the bottom 90% of men to Mars so that we can achieve the matriarchy.
I came across this video and I just really wanted to analyze it for a quick sec. Forget what she's talking about. Let's just focus on how she came to this conclusion. More than likely, it's because she's a jaded woman that had a bad experience with one man or multiple men, and now she feels the need to spread this misinformation, this ridiculous theory online. You have to understand, when it comes to people, the reason why they get out of line and start saying some wild off-the-wall stuff, especially when it comes to the differences between men and women, it's because they've been jaded by a person, and now they feel the need to take it out on the whole entire gender itself. Men do this as well as women. It's kind of ridiculous and very immature and childish. But I just wanted to analyze this video because we can get down to the bottom of it. And it has nothing to do with what she's saying, everything to do with what she's not saying. She dislikes men because she keeps getting played by them based on the men that she's choosing. Let's get into it.
I'm going to go ahead and say what no one else is willing to say. So if you're a lover girl or a mediocre man, go ahead and click off this video because you won't like it, or you can cry in the comments. In order for us to achieve peace on planet Earth and get the things that we want to get out of this life, we're going to have to delete 90% of men. Yes, that includes your awful baby daddy and your ancient father.
I know she's trying to make a joke here, but in all reality, she's serious. The most ironic thing about this whole discussion is the fact that if we got rid of the dumb people, the stupid people, the misinformation people, we would have a better world. We'd probably have flying cars by now. I'm going to defeat her argument based on her own words. Trust me when I tell you, 90% of men is not the problem as to why we have so much conflict and problems in this world. It's because of the dumb, stupid people who are egotistical and think their way of thinking is the best. A lot of people need to be playing the background. You don't need to be a star player. You need to be sixth man. You need to be on the bench. Because there's a lot of smart people out here, but for some reason, the vocal minority are the ones that jump online and spread misinformation. Their ignorance is the key to their confidence. There are a lot of dumb, stupid people on this planet, and I would say at least 50% of them are women. So don't think that just because you get rid of 90% of men, the lower bottom of that 90%, that the world's gonna become a better place, because that's just not true. There's some shit women out here running around doing God knows what, destroying people's lives and their own.
So if I was president of the universe, we would literally structure society so that we can finally achieve a matriarchy. But in order to do that, we have to get rid of most men because let's just face it, most men are not going to change. There's literally not enough time on planet Earth to change the heart of a trash man, and there's nothing you can do. We would literally need the second coming of Christ in order to change some of these men on this planet. And so what I am suggesting is that we literally get rid of them using the science that we already have.
And there you go. She just exposed herself. These so-called trash men. Ma'am, those are the men that you're meeting. It's so weird and odd to me because even as a man, I've never really met a trash woman because I don't put myself into position to meet those types of women. I only meet good, high-quality women who actually respect themselves. Every now and then you meet some girl who's off, but I would never take her seriously and I would never do anything with her because I don't want to have a child with that lady. So it's the exact same situation for women. If you don't want to deal with bums, then don't deal with bums. Just because a man is good looking and he's giving you the time of day doesn't mean that he's a good man. That's your responsibility, and you need to take accountability for the fact that you need to be checking these men and make sure that they're not bums, they're not weirdos, they're not men who are gonna screw you over and then now you're hurt and sad crying because you didn't see this coming. And the truth is, it comes down to standards and expectations. Do you have standards and expectations for yourself? When it comes to me, when I see a little thought, when I see some girl who I know she gets around, she's real fast, I may entertain a conversation with her, especially if she's choosing up on me, but I would never take her serious ever. And I'm not like most dudes. I'm not gonna smash a chick just because she's easy. That's disgusting. I don't want none of that. I want women who actually take care of themselves and are modest. They're respectable women at the end of the day. Women need to be the same way. They need to have standards and expectations. And usually women who are like that get swooped up in a relationship or even marriage very fast. That's why you got all the leftovers. The women who fell out of a relationship or got a divorce and now they're back on the market with all this extra baggage like children or just the fact that they're promiscuous. And real men who have options and quality, they're not gonna go for that. And I would recommend to those same men not to mess around with them from the start, because if you just so happen to get one of them pregnant, now you're stuck. You need to think with the head on your shoulders.
Elon Musk has said that by the year 2031, we will be able to support life on planet Mars. So I'm suggesting that we ship 90%, the bottom 90% of men to Mars so that we can achieve the matriarchy. And what does that leave us with? That leaves us with the top 10% of men. 5% of which are the men who are loyal to their wives and devoted husbands. And the other 5% are the men who have amazing gene pool, great IQ, good bone structure, good hair, skin, tall, fine as fuck. You know what I'm talking about.
Her own logic is going against her. Out of these 10% of men, okay, she said 5% are going to be married. That means the other 5% are going to be single, and you have a population of probably 4 billion women trying to get with 5% of men. What's 5% of like 4 billion? Quick math. That's 200 million. So you have 200 million men for 4 billion women. Yeah. Hypergamy is going to be at its finest because every single woman is going to be trying to get with one of those men. And for every one man, that's going to be like how many million women? That's insane. That's crazy. She's just saying stuff at this point. She's getting a small dopamine release and oxytocin from just talking and just fantasizing about this reality. This is just insanity. It doesn't even make sense. And not only that, in this world today, on the dating market, you have all these other women that share one man. You got 4 to 5 women for one man, whether it be baby daddies or simply a roster. We're living this reality now. The best advice I can give you is just don't pick trash men. Just because he's handsome, just because he talks good, doesn't mean he's a good person. And maybe you need to check yourself. That's another thing, because a lot of these women want to have their cake and eat it too. They want the attractive man that talks real good, that has a lot of money. But in reality, that's not a real thing. He might be short. He might be socially awkward. These are all things that you need to take into consideration and be willing to accept if you want to get married and commit to one man for the rest of your life. But the reality is, most women don't want to commit to one man. They want multiple options because they want the best of both worlds. And trust me, the longer you wait to choose a man, the harder it's going to be for yourself, because by that time, you're going to have multiple bodies, probably get pregnant, may have a STD, and overall, you're not as youthful as you once were. Women need to be taught this when they're in school, some type of home economics training course in high school or something like that. It's best to get married and choose your partner young. I'm not saying that's the way it should go, because monogamy is not for everyone. But if you don't want to be 30, 35 and single with no kids, with like 10 to 15 bodies on your name, then you need to get married young, or at least settle down young. The older you get, the more problematic it's going to be, and you have to be willing to accept that.
So since 2031 is a couple years away, that gives us enough time to decide what are the traits that we want to keep from the men on planet Earth, and how do we want to repopulate the planet. We can have sporting competitions to decide who is the most athletic. We can have mental competitions to see who is the smartest, the best IQ. We can have social competitions to decide who has the best heart and who is the most emotionally viable. But if we want to actually have a chance to fight as a matriarchy and become the great planet that we know we can be, we have to get rid of 90% of men in order to do this. And that means you're going to have to detach from the idea of everyone getting a soulmate, because that's just not realistic.
And what makes her think that she's going to find a soulmate? Let's just say this plan was implemented. What makes her believe that, oh yeah, I'm the one for sure that's going to get a soulmate because I'm the one that came up with this idea? No, ma'am. Based on the traits that you're exhibiting right now in this video, I'm pretty sure the cream of the crop, top of the top men would have better options. Not only that, they would probably be younger. It's sad because she can't even see past her own ignorance. She is so jaded and hurt that she just wants to get back at men, knowing damn well it would affect her and hurt her just the same. Forget this theory for a moment. Just think about all the women who were jaded by men, which were probably bad men. I'm not saying that they weren't, but they go on to live their lives in result of that man. Instead of brushing it off and saying, you know what, I'm going to move forward with my life, I can't let that hold me down, they let that trauma hold them down, no matter what it may be. And I'm not saying that you have to forgive and forget. I'm not saying that. I think that's ridiculous. But at the same time, you have to continue living, because if you don't, then when that trauma happened, when that took place, you essentially died right then and there. And the rest of your life is on co-pilot, because you will never allow yourself to be happy and truly accept another man into your life. If a guy cheated on you or abused you, don't think that that's how all men are, because that's simply not true. Another thing I wanted to point out from her little theory is the fact that if there was only 200 million men and 4 billion women, do you not believe that those 2 million men are going to run amok and impregnate every single woman that they could? What's stopping them from doing whatever they want? Who cares if they have the best genes, they're fast, they're good speakers, they're very emotional? Who's to say that they're not going to be a narcissist and do whatever the hell that they want and rule over you women? She really thinks just because it's a good looking man and he's fast, he's good, he's athletic, he's very emotionally viable, that just makes him a good man. No, these dudes could be straight demons. Like I said, her ignorance is her confidence. She is so dumb, she doesn't even realize the things that she's saying. If her exact theory was implemented, it would be hell on earth for women. Not only is there a possibility of these men running amok and doing whatever the hell they want and impregnating as many women as they could, but also you're gonna have all these other women fighting other women to get with those men, doing the most devious, backstabbing things you can ever imagine. Not all women are good women. And not only that, the lowest of the low women are still in this existence, meaning that they're still gonna fuck you other women over and do whatever they want. Sad.
Now, after we've gotten rid of 90% of men, you probably are asking, Ace, what do we do after that? Now we got all these women on this planet. What are we going to do? I am suggesting that we begin to rebuild our societies centering around women, children, and the elderly, meaning our housing complexes need to literally be built in a circle, supporting children in the center and having the rest of the society, the rest of the neighborhoods be built around this. Now, you're probably wondering, well, we got rid of all the men. Who's going to do our construction work? We can literally 3D print our houses if we want to. Or we can have strong women do the work. If you know anything about strong women, a strong woman is as good as a man, as competent as a man. And the best part about women is that not only can they be strong and competent, but they can also produce more men if we need to. Except this time the men will have great genes because we weeded out all of the bad gene pool. And I know some of you out there are thinking, well, what happens with all of the men that we send to Mars? What are they going to do up there? I don't know. I mean, they probably want to smash each other. So we should just let them do their thing and create their own societies, their own communities, their own brotherhood if they want to. They can go play soccer or do whatever they want. I just don't think that we can have them on our planet if we want a chance at survival as women who have power. And if you have other suggestions on how we can rebuild a matriarchy on planet Earth, let me know in the comments. Oh, and one last thing, having money as a man does not qualify you to be on the matriarchy of planet Earth. So we can go ahead and get rid of that myth that having money as a man makes you better, because literally it's your gene pool. What genes were you born with and how can you be useful to the matriarchy? On planet Earth, as a matriarchy, we literally don't need money anymore. So you're dismissed.
It's sad that the first thing that came to mind is 3D printing houses. Why can't you just build them like normal with wood and lumber? That shows you right there that her logic is flawed. She doesn't even believe women are good enough to build houses the regular, old-fashioned way in America. She's specifically saying that women need a crutch. They need training wheels when it comes to running the world because there's no more men to do it. She didn't say anything about making men their slaves and forcing them to build the houses. No, simply 3D print them. And not only that, she's saying, or we can have strong women do it. Is there not 200 million men that could build them for you? You can force them to do it. That didn't even come across her mind. Logically, she's not even making sense to herself because she's still forcing other women to do stuff, which is going to create an imbalance of power and hierarchy. You're going to have a group of women that are not going to want to do anything and sit at home and do nothing, while the other ones are outside actually doing construction and making the world possible. Kind of like the situation we're in now. So basically, you're just going to reinvent the wheel, but all those men that you hated because of the exact same reason, they're just going to be women at this point. And it's going to be women on women violence. You're going to have one girl here thinking she's a queen and a princess. You're going to have another one over here doing construction. There's going to be this power dynamics imbalance. Wars are going to be fought over it. Probably going to have something similar to the Hunger Games. All women have to volunteer a certain person or two people, each women, to do stuff. And it's, I don't even want to get into the weeds because it's just ridiculousness. I mean, you can really try. She's trying to put logic together, but it's just not making sense. The math is not mathing. So now she's talking about having more kids and then saying that, oh, because they have great genes, that they're going to be competent people. That's not true, ma'am. Just because you find this man attractive from a sexual standpoint doesn't mean that they have great genetics. That's subjective. And not only that, what if they have a child who has some type of disability? This woman is stupid. Competence isn't something that is passed down genetically. That's based on environmental factors. That's the precise reason why everybody has a different sense of self-awareness as well as purpose in life. She is using the halo effect in real time. She thinks just because a man is attractive that everything in his life is perfect and everything in his life is going to work out perfectly. The fact that she doesn't even realize her own bias or realize that her logic is flawed is amazing to me. Imagine working with somebody that has this type of rational thinking or critical thinking. To be honest, she doesn't have it at all. So these people are dangerous to be around because they be making decisions and not realizing the consequences of the stuff that they're doing and saying. I love how she threw in at the very end that money is used useless and there's no reason to use it anymore. Ma'am, how are you guys gonna barter? You're not gonna just give stuff up for the goodness of your heart. In a perfect world, that would exist, but because women were ruling the earth doesn't mean that we would live in a perfect world, or that you guys would live in a perfect world. So sad. The logic is flawed in this one, and I feel really bad for her because any man that she comes across is gonna be hell on earth in that relationship. Not only that, but we can see why she was jaded by a man, because she clearly hasn't gotten over it yet. It almost seems as if she doesn't have the ability to get over it. She doesn't want to be happy. Well, that's it with this video. Let me know what you guys thought about the video down below in the comment section. Just absolutely ridiculousness, and I can't take much more of it. If you're still here, thank you so much for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.